So cute. So this is Matt and Rebecca, and they are visiting us in Charlotte for a post-adoption, second one, at 3 months. And this is Lena and Jennifer.
Hi.
You guys want to tell us your funniest Poland story?
Getting lost on the way to the orphanage. Remember the first day we were by ourselves?
On our first trip, Magda had shown us how to get to the orphanage, and she had an appointment that morning, the second morning, and we had to be at the orphanage there. She asked us if we knew how to do it, if she needed to call us a cab, and we were like, no, we'll be great. We've been to Europe before. We looked it up on Google Maps and had all of these plans and went, following the plans until there was road construction. And we thought, well, we'll just follow this side street that's going along the one that we're supposed to, and ended up in a part of Czestochowa that
we've never seen
before or since. And managed wandering around to find a visitor center where we realized that we were supposed to be at the orphanage 5 minutes ago at that point. I dived in, crazed eyes, and it was very windy, so I know we both looked quite the sight. In very bad, broken Polish, we said, excuse me, we don't speak Polish very well. Where is, and had the address to the orphanage on a piece of paper and showed it to them. They kind of gave a nice sigh. I don't know if they thought that they were in for something when a crazed guy, wide-eyed, burst into there. They nicely picked up a map and kind of marked, this is where we are, this is where you are, basically go up the street, hang a left. And we managed to only be 10 minutes late.
And then she was sleeping, so
we couldn't see her.
We didn't see her anyway. We went back that afternoon and we knew exactly how to get there that afternoon.
We never had any trouble finding the orphanage after that.
A lot of times when people are asking about traveling to Poland, and they're kind of scared when I tell them they got to be there for 6, 7, 8 weeks. How is that? Is that scary when you go? What's it like to be there for such a long time?
It can be a little intimidating before you go. We were excited because we knew that this was going to be a time for the three of us to figure out what it was like to be a family and how all of this worked. And one of the few times that it was going to be a chance just to be the three of us without anybody else. But still, our Polish is less than the level of, a preschooler probably.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit intimidating, but through things like crash courses on Duolingo and Google Translate was our friend, we realized, people in Poland are very friendly and very patient when you at least try a little bit of Polish. And so it really wasn't all that scary or intimidating.
We traveled to Poland for our second trip right around Christmas. We left December 2nd and we came home January 25th. So we were there for the big holidays. And
you were there for Christmas?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was tough because we're very family oriented, so not being able to be with any family on Christmas was kind of difficult. But it was fantastic because we got to see how Christmas was in Poland, and we got to visit the Christmas market, and she got
a special blessing from St. Nicholas at the Christmas market.
Oh.
And we got to see all the nativity displays, and in the tough times we had to keep reminding ourselves that those 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks are a gift.
Yeah.
You really do get to just forget everything else and concentrate on what it means to be a family. And so that...
And you get to know, your child's country and their culture. And, we were kind of taking little notes as we were going through and going, okay, so how can we bring this back and work this in so that, Poland is still a part of her and her life and her identity, even if she's not there.
Plus, there's fabulous Polish chocolate. So if you're having a bad day, just get some of that, and it makes everything better. A little goofball. Do you want to put your other shoe on? Can you have your bathie?
So you've been back since end of January. Starting to get used to life. You said you're doing some routine now. Oh.
Although she definitely knows how to change even a routine up.
Yeah, but that's 2-year-old for you.
What is it called? This is our life.
Yep.
This is what our living room is like.
Who needs toys? Pillows are much more fun. Who knew?
What is some advice you guys would just give? I mean, what was the hardest part, or how did you overcome it? You know, just something you want somebody who's thinking about this to know. And I don't want to like ask a precise question because I want it to be what you guys think.
One of the things that was really important to us was, while we were focusing on the three of us, still being able to keep in touch with our families, because if we hadn't, I know my mother would have personally boarded a plane to Poland and suddenly shown up. So planning out ahead of time how that's going to work, if Skype is something that works for your family. We also used an app called Viber that let us send text messages if we've got if you have Wi-Fi, and those sorts of things. And be willing to just roll with the punches. I mean, you may come hoping for an appeal period to be a certain length of time or not, or think in your head that this is how it's going to go. It's not. Nothing is going to go exactly as you had planned, but you are in good hands, and it is all going to work out, and it's all going to be okay. The day she was supposed to come live with us, she got a stomach bug, and we ended up in the orphanage the next day, what we thought, visiting her, and she was better that day. We went to visit. We ended up coming home with a 2-year-old. So you never know exactly what's going to happen. Just roll with the punches, and if you go flexible, go with the mind of being flexible, it's going to make it a lot more pleasant than it is stressful.
And I think that's good advice for just the entire adoption process. Don't have it in your mind that this is going to happen exactly on this, like in these time periods. And I think for me, out of the whole adoption process, the hardest point was waiting in between the 2 visits. And it was tough that we were waiting and that we knew that she was in the orphanage and we knew who she was and we wanted to be there with her. It was also tough because there were so many very well-intentioned little old ladies at church and in our town who did not understand what the whole process was, and so we were answering the same questions
every weekend,
over and over and over again, and it was just kind of driving home for us that we were having to wait, and it was making the whole waiting period harder. But we set up the nursery, we shopped for way too many clothes for her, we traveled to see family and friends before we left, and, you know, take advantage of family and friends, because they help everything. Whether it's, you know, communicating with them over in Poland or hanging out with them while you're waiting, that's what helps.
And it's okay to acknowledge that certain parts
Are
you know,
hard.
are hard, or that the waiting is difficult. You know, be truthful with yourself about that sort of thing, and have people, whether they're family or friends, that are people that are safe to say, you know what, today sucks, and this sucks right now, and know that that's okay. There were times where, like, I was starting to feel bad for feeling bad, and then realizing, no, it's just the timing is not my timing. God has a better idea of all of this, and I hate being too short to see over his shoulder and read the playbook. But, you know, we will get there when we're supposed to get there, and there's stuff still to do here, and, you know, don't wallow in the, you know, the bad days, but don't be afraid to have the bad days, and be honest with the people around you so that they can support you.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
And by the time you have them with you, you remember that there were those rough times, but they don't feel as bad in retrospect.
Yeah.
Why are you putting your pasty up your pant leg? My little gymnast. Nope, it's button.
No, man.
Gymnastics and soccer, right?
Gymnastics, soccer, I think there's a linebacker in there somewhere.
Well, thank you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure serving you. You know, and yeah, God has been good throughout this whole process, and I'm so happy to see you smiling and having a great time now, being parents. So.
We're so glad that you guys were a part of this journey.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. And there's Lena and Jennifer over here too. I didn't ask them any questions this time. Sorry, guys. Do you have anything to say?